Recap in minutes. Today, we will be going through a war and drama movie entitled, Good Kill. There will be spoilers ahead in this video, so chill out and enjoy. The movie begins showing Major Thomas Egan, who was monitoring the movements in the Kahili Hills through his drone. He sees a woman in the burqa while checking his targets on the ground. He gets the orders to move from that site to another. Then he sees some men with rocket launchers on the streets of the village. He informs his officer on the mic about a civilian bus approaching the site of the target. He receives the orders to take the shot immediately or abort the mission. Major Thomas pressed the fire button at that moment and killed all the targets there. He appreciates himself by saying good kill. After that, his shift ends and he leaves. In the next scene, he comes to his home and meets his wife and kids. He tells his wife Molly that he will be on the night shifts for the next few days. In the morning, he drives all the way through Las Vegas and goes to the Air Force Base. There his commander, Lieutenant Colonel Jack Johns, was addressing the recruits. He briefed them on the importance of drones, and the duties of the operators. After that, he along with Major Thomas, goes into the cabin and finds a patrolling truck of terrorists on the road. They were all watching this on their screen through the camera of the drone. Colonel Johns then asks Major Thomas to measure the distance and time to hit them. They wait for them to stop, but Airman Vera Suarez interrupts them. She tells them the calculation of the attack at a latency of 2.2 seconds. The colonel then authorizes them to attack the truck at the time of 12 seconds. After that, Major Thomas fired the missile that hit on them. Colonel Johns appreciates them. After some time, they all see the woman in the burqa again on their screen. Major Thomas scrolls on her and zooms in. They talk about her hard-working routine. Colonel Johns leaves after watching them monitor her daily work. At the same time, they see a man comes to her house and rapes her. He beats her too after that. Everyone in the control room gets upset with these visuals. They could not do anything because they were only targeting the nearby compound. After some time, Major Thomas goes home. His wife Molly shows him his letter of resignation from the service. She asks him what is going on. She realizes that he is only a few steps away from the promotion and why he is resigning. They have a debate in the room. Thomas starts to talk when she tells him that she is his wife, and she has the right to know. He tells her that he does not like his job. He wants to fly the F-16. He is a pilot but does not fly. He leaves the room afterward. The next morning, he comes to the base again. He sits there and monitors the terrorists again. They found a suspected house in the area there. The colonel gets the intelligence to hit that house immediately. They launch the missile there, and at the same time, two boys come there playing with the tire. They got concerned about their presence there at that moment. Soon when the missile hit, they zoomed in and found them dead too. The colonel calls Major Thomas into his office. They talk about their families and flying experiences in the skies to change the mood. When the colonel sees Thomas uncomfortable with this, he talks about the incident with the kids. He tells him that it's not only his fault. He says they are all responsible for that murder. Thomas thanks the colonel for his talks, but he says that he knew he was responsible for pulling the trigger. The colonel then says that if it is so, then we all know that we did not know that the boys were going to show up there. He asks him to take a day off and have fun with the family. After 2 days, Major Thomas comes to duty again. Colonel Johns calls an urgent meeting with them. They were all sitting there and waiting for the colonel. When he comes, he tells them that they are going to work under the CIA for some time. They all got surprised at this sudden change of command. The colonel encourages them, saying that this will only be a matter of time. He explains to them that we, the Air Force, the CIA, and all are working for the same administration, so there should not be any confusion or hesitation in the service. He made Thomas the lead of the missions and Ed Christie is back up in the sky. In the next scene, when they go to their control room, an official from the CIA calls the colonel. He tells them that all of his UAV crews will be conducting the special operations, on his orders from Langley. He said they will call him simply Langley because of security reasons. The next moment, he orders them to kill Abu Almid, who was approaching a safe house. Major Thomas informs him that he has a woman with him. He replies that unfortunately, many of their targets cynically use women and children as shields to discourage attack, so attack the house without any discrimination. Major Thomas pulls the trigger and drops the missile on the house. After that, Langley orders them to re-engage in the target location. They all were shocked hearing this. The colonel asks Langley on the phone to confirm this order. After confirming, they all re-engage and attack the rescuers. Seeing Major Thomas nervous, the colonel asks him to leave his seat, and orders Captain Christie to sit there to do the damage assessment. After some time, the troubled Major Thomas gets stopped by the police officer on the road. He asks him why he was exceeding the limit. Meanwhile, He found an empty vodka bottle in his car. The police officer lets him slide this time, saying that he might have a bad day at the base. He gets home and spends all of the night thinking about flying planes. The next morning, he comes to duty again. The colonel reads them news from Waziristan in Pakistan. He tells them that the hate is spreading faster than the love there. The colonel asks Airman Suarez if she had even flown in Yemen before. She replies negatively. Now they were flying their drone in the airspace of Yemen. At that time, they receive a call from Langley again. He orders them to kill the group of Al-Qaeda cells gathered by the market. The colonel hesitantly questions that they want us to kill the crowd. Langley replies that Al-Qaeda unsurprisingly tends to congregate with Al-Qaeda, or other associated terrorist forces. He kept on saying that this cell represents an imminent threat. He orders them to prosecute the cell members there. He asks them to stop the recording and release the missile on them. They kill them afterward. In the next scene, they come back to Afghanistan. They see the same working woman in her house. The man with the gun comes again to her and punches her in the stomach. He rapes her again. They all see that and get sad and upset over this incident again. When Major gets home, he remains upset and keeps watching the sky. His wife Molly tried to change his mind, but he could not. He ignores her. He had trouble sleeping that night. The next day, he wakes up alone in the bedroom. His wife leaves a text about seeing him later. After getting fresh, he goes to the base. He saw Molly on his way and called her, but her phone was off. He texted her again when he got on his chair in the control room. Meanwhile, Langley orders the colonel to do a strike on a suspected building in Afghanistan. He debates with Langley that house was just a grain storage room, but Langley orders him again to explode. The colonel alerts the major twice to strike there. He triggers the missile there and says good kill. After that, he comes back home and waits for Molly. When she comes, he asks her where she was. She tells him that she told him that she was with the girls. Thomas outplays her, telling her that he saw her with Danny. She said she took his ride to go to the girls. Thomas asks him about his unanswered messages. She replied that her battery died. He takes her phone and finds the password changed. He asks her for the new password and she tells him that it is his name, Tommy. After that, she asks him what his problem is. She tells him that he is depressed, because he cannot go to combat in the plane seat. She annoys him. If he likes combat this much, he should hit her. She gets him and he gets up, pushes her back to the wall, and punches the mirror. Troubled Thomas left the house immediately afterward. The next morning, Molly goes to the base and talks to him. He starts explaining his job to her. He tells her that his job is to kill the families. And when the neighbors gather to pull the bodies out, they also have to blow them up too. He kept on saying that they have had to kill the men, and suspects in the funeral prayers also. After hearing this pathetic job story of her husband Thomas, she gets gloomy too. After that, they came back home together. The next day, he comes to the base, where the colonel was holding a meeting with them. He addresses their concern regarding killing the rescuers. He briefs them about the vicious cycle of killing the Taliban, and the Taliban killing them. He encourages them to hold themselves up and get back to work again. In the next scene, Langley was on their phone in the control room. He ordered them to shoot a specific house in the populated area. Major Thomas takes the shot and blasts there. He asks them to prepare for the follow-up. They do so. But this time, no one came out of their homes to rescue the bodies. They were all surprised at this reaction of the people. Langley orders them to wait, and after some time, a truck comes there with a woman and toddler in the back. He orders them to target them. Major Thomas takes the coordinates to trigger the missile, but he drops the coordinates at that moment. The colonel watched his action of non-compliance. He asks Captain Christie to take control of the drone and missile. Then he calls him into the office and tells him that he deliberately dropped the link. He warns him of Article 92 and punishment according to that. He said the IT team will find out about his act of losing the laser sight sooner or later. He said he is up to do something before them. The scene shifts. His wife calls him and tells him that she is taking the kids to her sister. He asks her if she was leaving him. He assures her that he will be back in a good position again. But she refuses him to talk more. After some time, he gets back on his surveillance seat again in the control room. He sees the same rapist man on his screen. He asks his subordinates to take a break if they want, so that he can take his chance to do something. When they depart, he locks the door of the cabin. He turns the lasing on from his assistant's chair. He turns the recording off there. He zooms in on the man approaching the woman. He locks him as his target and presses the trigger. After 10 seconds, the missile hit him. He got worried about the woman, who was standing in her house nearby the attack. He relieves the stress when he sees her getting up. Suddenly, his cabin door knocks. He gets out, ignores the colonel, who was calling him from behind, and drives out of the base. The movie ends here, when he was driving on the road to Reno, where his wife Molly was gone with their children. Thanks for watching. Subscribe recap in minutes for more videos like this, and help the channel grow.